Well, welcome back to our next episode of The Awakened Stranger. Again, this is Cody, and today we're talking with Deryk. And we'll give Deryk here a minute to introduce himself and share some of his life stories. And if you will, Deryk, go ahead and kind of take it away and let us know who you are and what brought you to this point, maybe some things that have happened to you in life that's kind of brought you down this path.
Yeah, so my name is Deryk Greer. I'm from Columbia, Mississippi. Born and raised from the time I was adopted to the time I was 19 years old, where I joined the Navy and embarked on that adventure.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so I was, I was told upon the age of about 13 years old that I was adopted, and then my adopted mother kind of broke down and told me and my biological sister at the same time. Growing up, my biological sister, I'd have to do a dang team meeting one day so I can sit down and draw stick figures for you for it, because listening to it from the outside, it almost seems incestual, but it's really not, because the weird dynamic of the family tree there. But I was adopted by this lady named Ruth Greer, and she was told by my biological mother that God told my biological mother to have me, because she was on the verge of jumping off of a house and about to abort me.
Oh, wow.
And she said something just overwhelming come over her, and that overwhelming feeling led her to rethink things. So, anywho, the lady that adopted me, she was actually my biological mother. I'm walking back into this garage real quick so I can just be done with this wind, and I was going to try to do some walking around the block. But anywho, maybe you can hear me a little better there.
Yeah.
So my adopted mother had this son named Stevie. Okay, so Stevie met this woman, Tanya. They had a good relationship. She got pregnant with a girl named Ashley, and then they split up. But then Tanya, my biological mother, didn't really know, what she was going to do. She ended up meeting this other guy. It was kind of like, she's got a wild story too. She's a very, very spiritually enlightened woman, always has been. It's just very in tune with her intuitions and where she should be versus where she shouldn't be. But anyway, things led her to this lake one day, and then she ended up meeting this guy. Well, at the time, I think she had just given birth to Ashley. And so then she and Lyman decided to go with his parents out to Mesa, Arizona, wherein I became conceived. So then they didn't work out. It ended up being a rough situation for my biological mother, because she already had the 1-year-old Ashley, and by the guy named Stevie, and they were 17 at the time. And Lyman's like, I'm not in the position at 17 years old to, take care of you, another baby, and now another one. Wow. So he ended up moving back from Mesa, Arizona, back to Columbia, Mississippi. And that was the point where she's like, I just don't know what to do with my life. I can't take care of one child. Now I'm pregnant with another one. She said, the least I could do is at least abort this one and do my best to raise one. And then God told her that he had bigger plans for the fetus, for the baby. And told her, I guess that night or that day, whatever time span that was, that she needed to have this baby for Stevie's mother. So she got to talking to Stevie's mother, and she was like, yeah, I mean, my husband, James, we were, just talking last week about, we wish we could have had a child together, but he was either he was sterile or my mom and didn't get a hair tubes or whatever. So Tanya was like, look, here's the deal. I'm pregnant. Don't want to be. And God told me I needed to have this baby for you. So they had their little spiel and back and forth. Well, so my adopted mom, that's my mama. That's always going to be my mama. That's my rock. Ruth Greer is her name. So she and Tanya come to the resolution that they didn't want anybody to know that Tanya was pregnant. So my mama, Ruth, hid my biological mother in her house the whole pregnancy, and they didn't let anybody know.
Oh, wow.
But then when it come time to have me, then it would just be like one of those things, because my mama, she didn't work at that time. So it was a perfect opportunity for her to be able to take off work like she was pregnant and, claim the big lie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was just perfect timing for everything that worked out there. So, anywho, but friggin', we were dirt poor, like dirt poor. Lived in a trailer park. Like if it was white trash, that's what we were. But that's okay. I mean, I embrace that to the fullest. It's embodied and taught me like so much about judging books by their covers and people, by their demographic and where, heck, freaking anything to do with the outside looking in. Y'all will see.
Yeah.
So, anywho, she ended up adopting me, changed my name day one, and then it's been an adventure. I grew up in a house full of love. Like I said, we didn't have a lot of money. My dad was a rambler. He got a job here and didn't work out. He'd get another job anywhere. So ended up, by the time I was born, he was coming off the oil rig and kind of getting his own business started, and started his own plumbing business. Well, he ended up becoming the most widely known plumber in our little town, but had his own little plumbing business called City Plumbing. So I was raised up, with a work ethic. After I got old enough, my mom decided she needed to go back to work to at least, assist the household. Now with a new mouth to be fed, because she already had 3 other sons, Stevie, Ricky, David, and Tommy. Or 4 other sons, sorry. So I had 4 adopted brothers. So whenever I became adopted, my brother Stevie, he became my adopted brother. Well, his daughter, Ashley, him and Tanya's daughter, is my biological sister.
Okay.
So that's where the whole ancestral kind of visual kind of will come into play there. They're like, holy crap, wait, your brother is your dad? And I'm like, no. My brother's not my dad. My adopted brother was never even presumably my dad. He got my biological mother pregnant. They split up. And then she got pregnant by another guy. And here I am.
Gotcha. Yeah, you explain it that way. Definitely, you seen it written out makes it make sense.
Yeah. Usually when I do explain this, I'm in front of a chalkboard, a piece of paper, so I can draw stick figures. Like, this is how it connects.
Nice.
Seems really weird, but my brother is not my daddy. It's just not.
Nice.
And what's funny is growing up, it was weird. I guess my brother Stevie wanted to have a relationship with somebody, but he was too much of a peckerhead to have a relationship with anybody. So anyway, every now and again, he'd pick me up and take me fishing with him and my sister. And he ended up living with us the majority of her life. So I got to be raised with my sister, but I was raised with her as my niece.
Okay.
So I was always Uncle Deryk. And weird situation.
Nice.
And then when we found out, that I was adopted and that we were actually siblings, she started calling me her uncle, cousin, brother thingy to all her friends.
Just
I was like, yeah,
adding to the story, huh?
Whatever works. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would always tell people that's my sister. And I mean, she and I have been the closest of any of my other siblings. And I wasn't able to reunite with my biological father's side until I was 25.
Wow.
So that's a whole another story in itself. Anywho, but so spirituality, I feel like, is just embedded in my blood from the day one. When you got somebody, I guess, who was, about to kill this child, and somehow, she had her own awakening at that point to realize, no, I'm meant to have this child. And then the household that I was adopted into and growing up into there, like I said, I was raised with a lot of love. I mean, that's what these people gave me. Like I said, we lived in a trailer park. My dad was a plumber. He was well known as a plumber. He was good with his hands, good workman and all. But your roots run deep, and like I said, maybe this turns into a series or whatever. But I'll be able to show you like pictures and video of my biological dad, and let people see 25 years of separation, and we act the same, look the same. It is weird, right? Mm-hmm. But then the spirituality and the spiritual side of things is more closely related to my biological mother, but I share a lot with bio dad as well.
Very cool. That's when you realize how DNA is really connected, and we truly are a product of our upbringing, or really of our cells that have been passed down through blood work.
Yeah, genetic. I am living proof that genetics run very deep.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's funny. Real quick, my oldest daughter, we've got 2 grandkids through her and her marriage, and that's been the comment from my son-in-law several times. It's, the genes in my bloodline, and my daughter looks a lot like me, just with long hair. And then my grandkids, when they were born, looked very much like from my side of the family. And even that, my son-in-law is like, man, like my baby looks more like grandpa than does look like his own dad. So we've definitely seen that in my bloodline as well. Just some very strong genetics, and our features and kind of characteristics definitely show. So that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the bloodline characteristics run deep. It's really neat to see.
Very cool.
And so I'm very ADHD, ADD, whatever. So I'm going to probably get off topic a lot because my mind runs 100 million miles an hour.
That's how mine works. So we'll be on the same page each time.
Good deal. So, let me digress. So, grew up with love, unconditional love. And I found out later down the road how and what unconditional love was from Mama, because of everything that she has went through with all of her sons, even before me, and then once I got here, and then everything that I put her through. And two of my brothers, they grew up drug heads. And those were the 2 that was mainly around the house the most. And then I had a third brother. So Stevie, he had went to the I should probably use code names or something. But I try to be as authentic as possible.
Yeah.
Anyway, Stevie, he was decent. I mean, he joined the military at a young age, did a tour or two, and served his country. But he was raised in a different timeline, and his genetics play a big factor in who he is. And we just don't get along. I was actually I quit. I was working, I guess, kind of for him before I came back to where I'm at now. But anyway, that's another story. Anywho, so my brothers, he was gone. David and Tommy, they were still living at home. My older brother Ricky, oldest brother Ricky, he was. By the time I came around, I think he was working on and off the oil rigs, and then got into trucking, over the road trucking. So he was in and out of the house every now and again, but majority of the time he was off on the road. And then Tommy and David, the drug heads, they were, in and out of our house. Mm-hmm. So growing up, that's just kind of the lifestyle that I grew up seeing. My dad, he was pretty much a raging alcoholic by the time I was 10 years old. He ended up losing his, my papa, my mama, and my Uncle Bilbo. Bilbo was born with cerebral palsy, and that's another story for the time. But anyway, he ended up losing all three of them, father, mother, and brother, all within 1 year of himself. So grief, I would say, hit him very hard at that time, and he just became a raging alcoholic. And wow, this is the first time I've talked openly about this. I get emotional, my bad.
No, and know that you're safe. Like, this is, I probably cry way too often, and this is a space where you get to be authentic and be you, and don't hold back. This is no worries.
It's just weird hearing it for the first time, telling somebody, like perfect stranger, but mm-hmm. I feel like, I don't know, we're so connected, brother.
I know that's the feeling that's been so more authentic than ever. Like, I've shared parts of my life and stories that I don't even tell my spouse, to people that I never even met. And there's something to say when you say that we're connected to a soul family. It's so real that I don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah, and I've tried to kind of bring my wife down this rabbit hole with me a lot, but she's a Pisces, and she is probably the most empathetic person I've ever met in my life. Like, if somebody else is hurting, she's hurting probably more than they are about the situation. I mean, she absorbs every bit of that energy. Bless her soul. And, so she's like, I can't hear your stories because it makes me so sad to know what you've been through and what you've endured. So, yeah, like I said, just telling this story now to you is the first time that it's actually being projected outwardly in a full whole.
Yeah.
So that's just it's mind blowing right now. So, but yeah, I got to try to get as much out as possible in this one. I may have to cut it short because I'm working night shift right now. I'm in the oil field. Been in the oil field for the last 16 years. But yeah, anyway, so my dad, he freaking became a raging alcoholic, just gave up on life, and by this time, I was probably 10, 11, and I wasn't fully aware, of who and what he was. I mean, we were always going to his friend's house and going to parties, and my mom, she was never like she was always the responsible one. She was going to be the designated driver. She was going to have a few drinks, play a game of cards, canasta, whatever the heck they were playing, let the kids play in the yard, and by the end of the night be able to drive his drunk behind home. But it was their pattern. She knew what was happening, so he was the responsible one. So anyway, I just wasn't aware at that young of age what path that I was going down at the time and what he was going through. at the time. But as we progressed, being around the brothers that I had, I'm not going to say that I don't have control over my own person, but when you grow up around it, it's normalized, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your brothers are coming in and smoking weed. That's just kind of what you go to, and that was my thing. Like, I became probably one of the biggest potheads in my school, but that, to me, when I discovered that, was the best self-help I could have at that time. It allowed me to be my authentic self unapologetically.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my thing. I didn't like pills. I drank, because, that was the cool thing to do. We go out and pasture party, and everybody'd sitting around a bonfire, drinking beer, listening to loud music, and, burning anything that we could find to burn. Oh, hey, the so-and-so down the street, the Winn-Dixie or the Piggly Wiggly just threw out a whole bunch of their truck pallets. Let's go get them and burn them. And then that was our thing. Oh, yeah, so-and-so's mama would let us drink over at her house, so we're going to have a party out by the pool. And, you just grow up. That's normal. That's what you do. But then one thing leads to another. You're peer pressured, and you're like, hey, man, we got this, we got that. You want to try it? You know what? Sure. Anyway, so by age 15, I had kind of started embarking on heavier substances. I was getting into the Molly a little bit and trying some psychedelics. Then we had cow fields everywhere. And before probably 1999, like, none of the farmers knew anything about, let's add a salt lick to the field and get rid of the mushrooms. So that was another weekend adventure we would go on. We'd go to the cow field and pick, 2, 3, 4 grocery sacks full of mushrooms, take them back, eat them, pop them in some tea, go on a trip. And to me, like, that was it. That was my key that allowed me to, like, holy crap, like, why is this illegal? Why is there not a substance like this that is great for you? Well, it turns out it really is great for you.
Yeah, that's what started my whole.
You just have no clue.
That's what started my whole awakening. As a big dose of mushrooms down in my basement, and went and met God. So
yeah,
yep.
And that's exactly it. Like, you were literally with Him. You were Him in that space, and you cannot. Somebody who has never experienced it and only views mushrooms as a drug, like, they will never understand. And it's like, I don't want you to take drugs. I don't want you to do anything you're uncomfortable with, but my God, you need to experience this.
Yeah.
Like, it's a whole nother realm of knowledge and knowing and existence. Like, and learn this early on, and then farmers found out, kids were jumping in their fields, taking their mushrooms, so they're going to change pH balance of the cows and throw the salt lick out there, and then mushrooms diminished. Then I had a buddy, like, back then, High Times magazine was a big thing. So I had a buddy get a cultivation kit for shrooms out of the High Times magazine kit, and grow his own. That was a whole different. I ended up going to jail that night on mushrooms. That was a wild story. I had to tell you that one day. And ended up in the hospital thinking, but honestly, I think whatever they injected into my thigh or my hip at that time is what sent me into the stupor. Like, I was up, I was at them, I was friendly, loving, outgoing, like, talking to people, but I was in my little closed-minded town of Columbia, Mississippi, and you show somebody like that to them, and they're like, this man's out of his freaking mind. But at this time, I wasn't, but 21, 22, I'm going to write a book about my life one of these days. I started it, and my second ex-wife, like I started a journal after my Navy experience and got my first divorce because I got married at 19. Went to the Navy. She ended up cheating on me. Didn't find out for a year later. So then we divorced, went through everything. I was trying not to get too far off topic because it's so much to tell. Like I was going to go be a chef for the White House and cook for President Obama, which may be a blessing in disguise. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah.
Well, I really do. I believe everything does happen for a reason, so it is a blessing in disguise. But yeah, I was literally fast-tracked to the recruiting process in the Navy because I went and cooked with the White House staff, and they wanted to recruit me, so they took me through the process, and then found out we can't take you off the boat, son. You've only been here 9 months. I was like, I know, but I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm hard charging out here. I'm doing it. Like I'm getting all these awards, all these letters of accommodation. Like I keep them because it's so wild. People are not going to understand. Like, well, why didn't you go? Well, because my first wife called the command and started telling all kind of lies about me. You know. So I said I was pointing guns at her and choking her out and beating her. Like, dude. That's one thing my mother always raised me. You don't put your hands on a woman in that way. You know, that's just disrespectful. Men are meant to treat women as ladies. And then later down the road, I hear, yeah, until they give you if they want to step up to a man's plate, you put them in a man's place. But I've just still never been that guy. I don't even like killing bugs, especially like used to. You know, it was fine. It was weird now.
Yeah.
I don't like killing spiders. I'll just get them, shoo them out of the house, put them in the grass, whatever.
It's funny because I'm doing the same thing. Bees, bugs, anything that moved or insects, like it was no problem to kill them. But now it's like I want to just scoop them up and set them outside. Like it's just
yeah.
There's something shifted in me. It's been different. So very cool.
Yeah, except for flies. There's enough of them to go around, and they only live for a day anyway.
And they're annoying.
Yeah. Flies and freaking mosquitoes and gnats. Those are the worst three. I pretty much deal with anything else.
Nice.
So the cultivated kit that was purchased and I went to jail on, that was the strongest dose. And I only ate freaking one mushroom and then a little small peckerhead. Sorry, I don't know if you had to bleep that out or whatever.
Oh, no. We got all access to whatever you want to say.
Nice. You would think every platform would allow you based on your First Amendment right, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, the little head at the bottom was the smallest one in the batch. I'm like, I'll take that one. That looks cute. Yeah, I got it. Well, that might have been the one that did me in. I mean, heck, we all freaking are pretty hard on that. But oh man, I can't. I remember everything very vividly, and that's what a lot of people who haven't done the experience, and I guess other people have different trips. But I remember every single trip that I've ever had, laying on my couch with one grocery bag full. And just sit there and watch colors come out of my TV and my walls breathe and things like that.
Yep.
And then you get on the heavier dose and you're like, oh my God, I see God.
Yeah.
He's telling me what I need to do in my life. He's telling me what's wrong with the world.
Yep. I've always said like one good night on mushrooms is like 10,000 hours of therapy.
Yeah. Instantly.
It is.
In 5 hours.
You can't run from it. You got to sit through it. And I've always said it's a version of your higher self sitting face to face with your current self. And you get to hash out all the shit that you've buried and all the traumas in your life and all the emotions get to come to the surface. And you get to solve all the problems in one night. That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then the thing about it is people will freak out and they stop going. And they're like, oh, I can't do that again. But you're not there yet. Mm-hmm. Like, it's so beautiful. So much beautiful more beautiful than a lot of the crap that we see and deal with on this earth. And it's sad, man. This life should be beautiful. There's too many beautiful things on this planet. And I'm going to send you a link. It's to a Facebook post that I made one time. It's probably half of the book, just explaining like where I'm trying to go in my journey.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I want people on my team, because I've got great ideas. I just don't have great money to follow through with those ideas.
Yeah.
And I'm like trying to find investors and people who are like-minded to say, dude, let's do that. Let's put that together. Because I'm so OCD and meticulous and want everything to be organized and in place, like down to the minute, like the shoestrings that I want in our uniform boots for this company, the structure that I want, our team's lives to go by while we're on the clock. And then, like, because out here we do rotations, right? We're on 20 days on, 14 days off, 20 days on, 10 days off, 14, 10, 7. Crazy different rotations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when you get out here, you end up, like 90% of the people are out here, they're not with their families. And they're absent from most of their families' lives, missing birthdays, holidays, everything. You miss everything because you're out here working, trying to make a living because it's decent money, probably some of the best money that anybody can ever make without a college degree. And you can get thrown in from a young age and learn and yada, yada. Like I said, I've been out here for 16 years now. That's another path I'm going to go down. But, yeah, so, went to the Navy. I don't remember where I was going with that story.
Yeah, you got to the part of talking about your friend growing his own, and then spent about 16 years in oil rigs. Yep. And then talking about your options or for some opportunities and ideas to grow a business.
Yes. So, anyway, that was one of my first awakening experiences as a young age. It was like 15 to 18, just experiencing with the psychedelic realm. And, I still enjoyed my herb. Me and my buddies, I would rather smoke marijuana and just the medicinal use of that alone. I'm like, it's a plant for crying out loud, people. Healing plant put on this earth by God for us to utilize to be who we're supposed to be. It gets you there naturally. You're not being fed these pharmaceuticals and letting Big Pharma freaking, shovel all these side effects down your throat and just waiting for you to depreciate and go mindlessly through this world. Went through that early experience, and thank God that I was able to go down that path. Then, I'm like, you know what? I literally have no real path in life. I need to start thinking about my future. So at 17, 18, your junior year, senior year, the recruiters are coming in to the high schools and this and that and trying to get all the young bucks to come to the military and whatever. Well, I was like, great. That's a perfect opportunity for me to embark on something, because my parents never, they grew up. My mom picked cotton for a living when she was little, worked 3 jobs trying to help my dad. After he pretty much was drinking himself to death, he ended up having a major surgery in like 98, 99, something like that. Spent 3 months in the Jackson hospital because they had to have all but 3 inches of his esophagus removed, his stomach up in his chest. And this was all during the time of, when he lost his parents. So getting to see and go through that with him, the alcoholism, then just him getting on pills, becoming very, very verbally abusive to my mother, like just a hateful human being. Like I'm going to blame the alcohol and I'm going to blame the drugs, because everybody that I've ever met was like, dude, James was a one-of-a-kind character. Like, everybody loved him. He was a great guy. He was always fun to be around, but he was that fun time Charlie, you know. He was going to drink, and he was going to take it too far and instigate a fight. And then my mom ended up having to go fight the people for him. They had. I've got some wild. I'm making my mom like write a memoir. I'm like, please, for the love of God, for me and anybody else that cares. I was like, I need your life story written down because I'm going to write a book one day, and I want your life to be part of it because your life gave me life, and it's got to come out, dude. But what she's been through is just remarkable. Anyway, so recruiters show up to the schools, and I'm like, great, yeah, I need to do something with my life. You guys have worked your whole life, you still don't have the money to send me to college. Y'all don't know anything about how to direct me to college or anything besides being a working class citizen, paying my bills and going throughout my day. And I'm like, something in my soul knows I'm made for so much more than that. So much more. Like, even now, I'm at this job, and I'm classified as a senior supervisor, but it is not fulfilling, dude. I'm just sitting there doing this daily task over and over and over and over, and it's empty. It's empty. I'm not going anywhere, and my potential is so not being fulfilled here. But it pays the bills. You can do what you can do, and I was unemployed since August. Did a couple of small jobs, did some carpenter work for my brother Stevie to kind of keep the funds rolling in, but I was living in the negative, so that's why I ended up having to let my Jeep Gladiator be repossessed because I couldn't afford it. But that's another story. So went to the recruiter's office, signed up with the Marine Corps, like gung ho. Yeah, went and shaved my head, took out all my piercings. I'm like, we're going. Let's go save the world, But I told the recruiter, I was like, look, dude, here's the deal. I'm going to come work out with you guys. They put you in what's called the delayed entry program. I was like, but look, I'm hot as a firecracker, dude. I've been partying like a rock star. I'm a senior. This is my senior year. And there's no way on God's green planet that my piss is clean right now. I guarantee you. I was like, you're going to have to give me about 2 weeks. Let me come work out with you guys before I go swear in. I promise you, I'm in it to win it because that's who I am. Like, I'm a freaking all or nothing kind of guy. Like, if I can't go all the way with something, I don't want to do it at all. I feel like it's a waste of potential that somebody else may need the blessing for, so let me step out of the way until I'm in the position in the right alignment to where I can be all I can be for that. So, yeah, like I said, I told the guy, I'm like, look, I need 2 weeks. I'll continue working out with you. I haven't done anything else. I've got the space now where I'm in the mindset where I'm going to be a Marine. And him as a recruiter, he just puts it, nah, man, GNC's got these new drinks. What time you want to leave? 2:30? Oh, I need to go take a shower then. The GNC's got these drinks that can clean you out in 1 day. He was like, I've had plenty of people do it. I'm thinking to myself, well, plenty of people aren't me. Plenty of people ain't been out here freaking, going down Alice in Wonderland's rabbit hole. Then the club scene and everything else. I was like, I don't know. He's like, trust me, bro, trust me. So I do it. Go take my piss test. I ended up popping hot. And at that time, I was like, you know what, dude? Like, I told you, right? Telling you over and over and over. I was like, maybe that's a sign from God that I just don't need to go. So, So yeah, after that, then I really went down a odd path. And that's when I really started embarking on the more dangerous illicit substances. My next to the oldest brother ended up getting hurt offshore and ended up suing. So when he sued that company, he ended up getting over $500,000. And he, being the drug head that he grew up to be, that's where his mind was going. I got money. I'm going to buy drugs. So we started, on booger sugar train and went down that. And then he went back to smoking crack and freaking, would just buy the powder for me and my other brothers. And then we're like, dude, I don't know if I can talk about that on there.
No, you're good. Yeah.
It was in 2000, so I mean, whatever. Over. Can't be.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's a statute of limitations on that.
I think, yeah, we're definitely good there. Maybe 7 years, huh?
But, yeah, it's another one of those things. You're around it. They're doing it. They're okay. Mm-hmm. I should be able to do it too, and be okay. Well, then this drug runs out, and then they're like, "Oh, well, you know what? Here's this other one. It's a little bit better. Let me introduce you to meth." Oh, okay. So my brother stops buying the cocaine, and he just strictly wants to go buy his crack rocks. And then so me and my other brother are like, "Oh, look, our cousin's over here manufacturing in his shed. He's gonna give us pounds and pounds of this stuff, and we're just gonna go make money on it." Great. And then all of the proceeds go to us as the dealers, and we can just take our profit in dope. And that led down to a wild and wonderful discovery. So after all of that, like 3 hardcore months after the Marine recruiter did that to me. My dad, being the raging alcoholic he was, just verbally abusive, like telling my mother he's going to burn her alive in her sleep. He's going to freaking blow her brains out as soon as she wakes up and comes through the front door in the morning. You know what I mean? Like all kind of stuff. Pretty wild. And every time, I'd come in from school, all her clothes would be on the yard or in the driveway. Tires would be flat because she went to town to get groceries with my aunt. He was accusing her of all kind of madness. I just had no other reason at that point in my adolescent mind not to. Why not? Yeah. Mm-hmm. We're going to make some money. We're going to party. Sounds great. And made a lot of money. Mm-hmm. Did a lot of drugs. Had a lot of fun. But then my body said, no, this is not the path for you, son. My soul said, this is not the path. You've got to do something else. Well, my body sat me down. Like, I'm not sure if you're very familiar with methamphetamines.
I'm not. I've been in the psychedelic world and DMT and mushrooms and then THC. So that's kind of all I've really been a part of. So.
Well, I didn't know if you heard stories, whatever.
Yeah.
But when I say, like, think of about a 20th of a gram is enough to, if you have like the purest, the closest to pure. I mean, we're not Breaking Bad pure out here, but when you're getting that close to the clearest of stuff, a 20th of a gram is enough to keep you up for a day or two.
Wow.
And I fell in love with not necessarily the drug, but what it did for me. It gave me the energy, and I connected with my brother on such a deep level. Like, I actually met my brother that way, in the drug scene. Like, actually met him. Like, I always knew him, grew up around him, hung out with him a couple times. But when you actually meet somebody on a level, you're on their level, and at the time they see you, it was just the amount of fun and places we went together, things we did together. It was like we were the dealers, but we would go, find women together. Like it was insanity, man. Just the life that we lived in that such short time of 3 months. Man, I hate to do this. I've got to get a shower and get ready for work.
No, and that works. And I even saw your note that we might need to do multiple parts, and that really works, because I'd love to develop your story and let it all play out and hear all of it instead of having you rush it. So we can definitely, let's set up a time for a next part. And I take notes as we're talking, so I can kind of keep us on track with what we've been doing. So it'd be ideal.
I hope so, because, it's all up here in the head. I can go back in depth in every part of it.
Yeah, no, first of all, I thank you so much for the time that we were able to spare, and thanks for being open and sharing your story, because that's what I think is happening. This podcast is connecting people from all around the world. It's connecting people from every different possible starting point in their life, and we're all kind of joining together in the same moment. So I love it. It's really the purpose of what we're doing.
Anyway, just to kind of end it, you always end your cast with, one thing to leave for the crowd.
Yeah.
So what led me here at this point is the pulling for, seeing your video, of course. That's what I'm going through in my life. There's a strong pull to Hawaii right now. And I've been researching a yacht business. I've got a whole business plan built for a yacht business, and it's based out of Hawaii, because what a lot of people don't realize is Hawaii doesn't have an off season. Their off season is whale watching.
Yeah.
Their winter time is the best time to surf.
Yep. No, and that's been my thought is, see, I visited and vacationed in Maui quite a bit. And initially I was thinking about buying a charter boat with my brother up in Alaska and spending the summers in Alaska and then the winters in Maui and just following the whales back and forth. And that story's kind of changing a little bit. We might end up just going straight to Maui. So I'd love to have a little healing and a retreat center for people with it, plant medicine therapy, some yoga, some meditation, horseback riding, kind of all of that. And then the idea of a boat and doing something there with charters. So
yeah,
it definitely seems like we need to talk.
I promise it's coming. Like the things that are falling in alignment with us meeting and hearing that, and even hearing what you just told me about going straight to Maui, like that even solidifies where we're going that much, that much more beautifully. But yeah, I gotta hop off here, man. Thank you for your time. Sorry I rambled.
Oh no,
all over the place. But yeah, well, I'll set up another time as soon as I can, and we'll do a part 2.
Awesome. I appreciate you. Thank you, Deryk.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Okay, we'll talk to you soon.
Later.
Bye. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And again, this sounds like we're going to have multiple parts with Deryk's story, and pretty cool stuff to hear that we all come from different starting points and we've all had different experiences in life, and we're all connecting here in the same space. So very, very cool. And again, thank you guys for being a part of this. And with that, just a reminder, we do have the Facebook page, the support group there called The Awakened Stranger. Just a space where we can all get together and share conversations, ask questions, and help support each other. So find yourself there, and we'll get the moderators to approve anybody that's wanting access to that group. And then also remember, if you would like to share some space with us and share your story, we'd love to hear from you. And I've got links to my Google Calendar on the TikTok page. Find me there at Cody Rampton. And then I've also just duplicated everything into Instagram. So at Instagram, it's at The Awakened Stranger. And you'll see the links for the Google Calendar. Select a time slot that works for you. And just a reminder, that is Mountain Standard Time. So the calendar is based on my time zone. So if you're living in a different area than Mountain Standard Time, just calculate your time based on what the slotted time is. So 3 o'clock my time will be 5 o'clock Eastern Time if you're in a different time zone. So hope to hear from you. And again, thank you so much for being a part of this. And if you feel inclined to, please follow the podcast and support me there and let that page grow there on Spotify. So hope you're having a great weekend, and we'll talk to you all soon. Love you.